For this piece of HWH Season 8, here's what we're going to do. I got myself the 6-lane raceway, once again. Of course, the famous, end gate that has the electronic voice is not going to be present in this episode. As sad as it might seem, that's the ultimate truth I got right here. But instead, as you can see, it basically ends with a bunch of twists and turns and whatnot. And I suppose you're probably going to want to know the main goal or purpose of this setup in particular. Well, I guess before we do that, let me introduce to you 5 different teams. Team Red, Team Blue, Team Gray, Team Black, Team White. All these teams are basically color-coded in the same way that I have been able to do so with some other HWH material. So here's what we're going to do. I got all 5 of these teams all pieced together, each with their own distinct episode of HWH. So this is going to be another multi-parter to carry out HWH up until the very end of this whole season. We're all going to start right here, quite obviously. And they ascend and descend downwards all the way to here. The main goal is to see how many cars can go from point A all the way to point B. 2 lanes that go forward, 2 to the side, and 2 that come right back. And we're going to see how many of them actually come out all the way through. The main goal is to find out how many cars make it through. Multiple rounds will come by. Each, of course, will have their own unique round just to identify how many points they can earn through this whole ordeal. The point system is basically judged by how many cars make it through all the way to any of these points. Either the yellow track, the white stopping blocks, or through these U-turns. And we're just going to see how well each of them do their own ranking. We're going to get started with the black team. We're going to start off with Limousine, Renault Megane Trophy, Nissan 370Z, Red Baron, Robo Race Robocar, and Skull Rider, all coming down at the same exact time. Can you guess how many points we're going to rack up with this first round? Now that was a crazy start. And I could sure tell you right now, it's a little bit of a carnage massacre that I'm seeing right here. Limousine's technically hiding underneath that strut, but I'm also seeing the likes of Skull Rider and Robo Race Robocar, for example, pretty much coming through. It seems like everybody's made it to point B, but has somehow gotten into a bit of a predicament along the way. For now, though, we're going to count that as 6 points in total since they all made it. But let's see. Can round 2 basically come up with 12 points in total? Well, I guess we'll just count that as a yes. They once again managed to make it to point B, right where they were supposed to. Between each and every individual end, it's all going to add up to 1 point, depending on how many of them actually make it to that point. So let's go clean it up. And now, we're going to move on with the first round by having each car go down individually this time. So, Skull Rider's going to take the honor, and we're going to see how well he can go down lane 3. 1 extra point for the black team. Now, Limousine's going to go on to lane 5, and we're going to see if this one can rack up an additional point for the black team. And oh! Looks like he flopped somewhere. Yeah, just as I suspected, right at that 90-degree turn, he just flipped on right out. It's a top-heavy car, so that's basically no points for that one. But that's okay, because we got 4 more cars, and therefore 4 more opportunities for this whole ordeal. So, next up, Robo Race Robocar, going on to lane 6. Let's see if he can make around that U-turn in 1 clean shot. Ooh! Oh, that was pretty fun. Yeah, he just whipped around that whole thing like it was no big deal. So, I guess with that in mind, that completes this particular piece. And now, Nissan Fairlady Z gets to take up lane 4. And we're going to see how well it actually goes. Okay then. Seems like that works pretty well. Yet I'm not entirely sure how well the other two can come together. Renault Megane Trophy in lane 1 is a go. Haha, well, another U-turn success with Renault basically getting an additional point for the black team. And the 6th and final racer, Red Baron, gets to take on lane 2. Ooh, well, I mean, that was pretty nice. Only managed to get 4 points during that whole phase in the round, but I guess with that in mind, that completes this phase. Now it's time to move on to phase 3. We're going to send every single car down each and every single lane. Now, first off, Limousine's going to be going through all 6 lanes on this whole entire 6-lane raceway. So starting off at lane 1 and then going all the way through lane 6. And with that, that completes Limousine's trial. Only 1 point out of that whole entire thing, with the curves. Unless, of course, you're willing to count lanes 3 and 4, in which case that adds up to only 3. I guess one other thing I'm going to mention real quick is that if, during phase 3 of each round, if any car happens to go through all 6 lanes successfully on their first try, then there will be a multiplier, triple the points. And so, since Limousine didn't do it on the first try, that means only 3 points will be administered. But anyways, for the next member of the black team, let's go ahead and send the Nissan 370Z down all 6 lanes. Beginning with lane 1 and then move to lane 6. With another 4 points, and that's basically a good win for the black team. Yet we still got 4 more members to go. Let's go with Skull Rider. And there you go, another 3 points from Skull Rider. So in total, that makes 10 points across these 3 racers. But it's not over yet. Red Baron's turn is up next, and we're going to see if maybe they could probably score all 6. Which means a triple multiplier will be a nice big reward. Well, I pretty much suspected that Red Baron wasn't going to do very well in those 90-degree turns. Like a lot of cars, it's a bit top-heavy. But let's see if the RoboRace RoboCar can help make up for this. I could certainly guarantee at least one of them is going to earn the triple multiplier along with 6 points. And so, let's see how well he does. And there you go. So that means an additional 18 points have been added for the black team. So, can we see a double tripler happen? The Renault Megane Trophy is the last model that I got for the black team. So let's see how well it'll do. The McGain Trophy was grinding a bit in certain parts, but yet still manages to earn a nice 4 points for the team itself. Now, it's time for Phase 4. Essentially, we're going to be setting them all down at the same time again, but this time, we're going to be setting in another potential multiplier. 10 times this time. So, if they all make it on this one-shot race, this final race for all 6 of the members, then the team will earn an additional 60 points. Now that's an opportunity that you cannot refuse. So how well are these guys going to do? Well, time to find out. Oh, okay, well, I guess that didn't entirely work all too well. Some flobbled around, some didn't even do that well. But hey, you know, it's still a decent pickup with all these points that are now added for the black team. So, that pretty much completes round 1. I'm especially excited to see how the rest of the teams are able to come together and possibly outfox the black team. With blue, gray, white, and red all together, we're just going to see for ourselves. 4 remaining episodes of HWH that I plan on doing with all this, and hopefully each of you guys get a nice remembrance of the entirety of my creative power here on this channel.
You have some love showing your faces. It had been so long, I thought you disappeared.